Calcium. You need calcium, but you're eating a vegan diet, and you don't want to drink dairy because you know the dairy will really mess you up. And you know that when animals become adults, that they don't drink dairy anymore. So where do you get your calcium? Well, I just want to give you a really quick video of a really good source of calcium. And not only calcium, but other important minerals like magnesium. And a really good source of iron comparable to that of red meat. So a lot of vegans or vegetarians who turned back into meat eaters would say that their iron levels were low, and so that's why they started consuming meat again. So this is a good food source that I'm about to mention that would have helped correct any of these deficiencies that they had had. And this food source, of course, is molasses. Okay? Molasses is phenomenally high in iron, calcium, and magnesium, along with some other minerals, such as copper. So just to put things into perspective a little bit, okay, 2 tablespoons of molasses, preferably Blackstrap molasses, unrefined, has 400 milligrams of calcium. Okay, that's more than milk. So, if you want to get some good, high-quality calcium and other minerals in your diet, then try including, Blackstrap molasses into your diet. Put it in your baking, make a nice hot chocolate with it, use it as a sweetener. It really is a good, phenomenally food source of important nutrients, and especially those minerals, okay? And our great-great-grandparents would use molasses quite liberally in their recipes and things, and as a sweetener. And there's many reports, if you look on Google, of people claiming that using Blackstrap molasses has returned their gray hair back to black or its original color, and they believe that's because of the mineral copper. There's much copper in Blackstrap molasses, and copper is important for, I believe, the melanin, which is the hair pigment, and that's what gives your hair its color. So, most of us are deficient in that nutrient. So if you can start supplying that again, and of course there's other probably minerals and vitamins in there that I'll play a part too. But it is a really good source of calcium, and so it's highly available and it's affordable, and so I'd recommend using Blackstrap molasses as a good food source of calcium. And there's other factors that go into play as well as having strong bones, and it's not so much the amount of calcium that you take in, but it's the amount of calcium that's actually utilized and assimilated by the body. So you could have, say, 2,000 milligrams of calcium, but if you might only absorb 10 or 20% of it. And that's really about all that we can absorb anyways in our intestines, is about maybe 10 or 20% of the calcium. So, and then of course it depends on where you're getting calcium from, because there could be other concerns, such as if you take it from dairy, the dairy is loaded with pus, feces, blood, hormones, and it just contains a lot of bad things like IGF-1, which is a growth hormone, which can cause cancer to grow. So dairy isn't really a good source of calcium, regardless of what all these people are telling you. So there is other sources of calcium, so don't be led to believe that you must drink dairy in order to get your calcium from, because that's just not true. So, give Blackstrap molasses a try, and look up on go to earthclinic.com and look at all the testimonials of people using Blackstrap molasses. You'd be quite surprised of all the health benefits that you could get just by taking Blackstrap molasses. And actually a good, delicious way that you can incorporate into your diet is just making, like, heating up a cup of water and putting some blackstrap molasses in there and drinking it as like a hot chocolate. It is pretty delicious, and of course you could even add some cacao and then add some blackstrap molasses in there, and it would be a phenomenally good source of minerals. So don't worry about not getting enough calcium if you're trying to eat a healthier diet. You can get enough calcium, and it can be utilized by your body.